Welcome. Today we will be reading Lesson 226 in the workbook, and from the text, Chapter 19, Section 4C, the third obstacle, the attraction of death, paragraphs 1 through 6. And now for Lesson 226. My home awaits me. I will hasten there. If I so choose, I can depart this world entirely. It is not death which makes this possible, but it is change of mind about the purpose of the world. If I believe it has a value as I see it now, so will it still remain for me. But if I see no value in the world as I behold it, nothing that I want to keep as mine or search for as a goal, it will depart from me. For I have not sought for illusions to replace the truth. Father, my home awaits my glad return. Your arms are open and I hear your voice. What need have I to linger in a place of vain desires and of shattered dreams, when heaven can so easily be mine? In this world, one can only be homeless. For how can what is unlimited find a home in the limited? What is there of value in the world but unsatisfied desires and self-deluding fantasies? In recognizing the lack of value of earthly things, does one cease making goals that only further enslave oneself? Finding no usefulness in worldly plans, does it finally fall away? So let one not replace the truth with more illusions. In this very moment, why remain in a realm of limitation and disappointment, when the unlimited always but awaits one's choosing? Let one's mind be freed from all of the world's falsity, which only serves to block the dawning of truth. And now sit and silently wait for its arrival. And now for our text reading for today, from chapter 19, section 4 C. The third obstacle, the attraction of death. Paragraphs 1 through 6. To you and your brother, in whose special relationship the Holy Spirit entered, it is given to release and be released from the dedication to death. For it was offered you, and you accepted. Yet you must learn still more about this strange devotion, for it contains the third obstacle that peace must flow across. No one can die unless he chooses death. What seems to be the fear of death is really its attraction. Guilt, too, is feared and fearful. Yet it could have no hold at all except on those who are attracted to it and seek it out. And so it is with death. Made by the ego, its dark shadow falls across all living things, because the ego is the enemy of life. And yet a shadow cannot kill. What is a shadow to the living? They but walk past, and it is gone. But what of those whose dedication is not to live? The black-draped sinners, the ego's mournful chorus, plodding so heavily away from life, dragging their chains and marching in the slow procession that honors their grim master, Lord of Death. Touch any one of them with the gentle hands of forgiveness, and watch the chains fall away along with yours. See him throw aside the black robe he was wearing to his funeral, and hear him laugh at death. The sentence sin would lay upon him, he can escape through your forgiveness. This is no arrogance. It is the will of God. What is impossible to you who chose his will as yours? What is death to you? Your dedication is not to death, nor to its master. When you accepted the Holy Spirit's purpose in place of the ego's, you renounced death, exchanging it for life. We know that an idea leaves not its source, and death is the result of the thought we call the ego, as surely as life is the result of the thought of God. Roman numeral 1, the incorruptible body. From the ego came sin and guilt and death, in opposition to life and innocence, and to the will of God Himself. Where can such opposition lie but in the sick minds of the insane, dedicated to madness and set against the peace of heaven? One thing is sure: God, who created neither sin nor death, wills not that you be bound by them. He knows of neither sin nor its results. The shrouded figures in the funeral procession march not in honor of their Creator, whose will it is they live. They are not following His will. They are opposing it. And what is the black draped body they would bury? A body which they dedicated to death, a symbol of corruption, a sacrifice to sin, offered to sin to feed upon and keep itself alive. A thing condemned, damned by its maker, and lamented by every mourner who looks upon it as himself. You who believe you have condemned the Son of God to this are arrogant, but you who would release him are but honoring the will of his Creator. The arrogance of sin, the pride of guilt, the sepulture of separation, all are part of your unrecognized dedication to death. The glitter of guilt you laid upon the body would kill it. For what the ego loves, it kills for its obedience. But what obeys it not, it cannot kill. You have another dedication that would keep the body incorruptible and perfect as long as it is useful for your holy purpose. The body no more dies than it can feel. It does nothing. Of itself, it is neither corruptible nor incorruptible. It is nothing. It is the result of a tiny, mad idea of corruption that can be corrected. For God has answered this insane idea with his own, an answer which left him not, and therefore brings the Creator to the awareness of every mind which heard his answer and accepted it. You who are dedicated to the incorruptible have been given through your acceptance the power to release from corruption. What better way to teach the first and fundamental principle in a course on miracles than by showing you the one that seems to be the hardest can be accomplished first. The body can but serve your purpose. As you look on it, so will it seem to be. Death, were it true, would be the final and complete disruption of communication, which is the ego's goal. In this section, we are told that the ego's belief in death ultimately is intended to block the joining and communication between minds. In the death of the body is one separated or parted from others. For the ego's primary purpose is to promote separation. The Holy Spirit would release one from the attraction to death. Forgiveness would loosen the grip that death has on oneself. Ideas of death do not leave their source in the mind, where the ego's thought system resides. The ego's thoughts of guilt and death oppose the Holy Spirit's thoughts of innocence and life. For a loving source did not create death. The body does not die because it is nothing, merely a shadowy result of a tiny mad idea of life's opposite. Yet there is no opposite to life, and its shadowy appearance has no reality.